Ken, can you see that video?
I haven't started broadcasting.
Can you see the video of the commissioners on their desk?
Oh, yeah, very nice.
All right.
Hello, commissioners.
Yes. Commissioners, just remember you'll have to press the button to speak on the microphone. That's the only way they're going to be able to hear you. Everybody that's on Teams or it's being recorded. Let's call this meeting to order. Today is Tuesday, February 15th, 2022. The time is 6 p.m. The place is the El Paso County ESD number 2 boardroom. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the prayer. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our heads. Good comment.
Amen. Establishment of a quorum will be, we have Commissioner Butler, Commissioner Santana, and Commissioner Barnes present, Commissioner Diaz, and Commissioner Avalos absent. Public comments must notify the board to speak on certain agenda items for 5 minutes. Public can comment by calling 915-213-3008. PIN code is 403-523-066 #. That's 915-213-3008 with a PIN code of 403-523-066 #. Consent agenda. Commissioners, anything you'd like to pull out of consent agenda?
No, sir.
Move to approve.
Have a motion by Commissioner Butler,
Second.
second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes. Motion carries. Discussion on communication report by Elva Ramos. I don't see Elva in the meeting either. Commissioner Samba, let me make sure they weren't going to attend.
Are y'all still there?
Yes, sir. Chief Esparza stepped out.
Okay. I didn't hear that. I had some malfunction with my computer.
Commissioners, can we skip to item number 7 while communications logs in?
Sure.
Discussion and action on financial audit by SPNG. All right, let's skip that one. Discussion on personal matters by Tommy Cano, HR. Here. All right. Yeah. There you go.
There we go. It's green. Okay. Good evening, everybody. Just to update, Cano HR has been communicating with Chief, and we have had I don't can you hear personnel issues. There we go. Personnel issues that we have come over and basically documented some employees. And I believe we're going to be rolling out another anti-harassment soon. Chief, we're going to get with Chief on that because that's becoming a large issue nowadays with all of our clients, and we need to have everybody on the same page for that. So we will be scheduling another anti-harassment for management first. That's always first, and then of course with employees. That's about it. Any questions? One more time, sir.
Do we know when that will be available or?
No, we have to schedule it with Chief to make sure all our schedules coordinate. Any other questions? Thank you. You're welcome. You too.
Item number 8 was for informational purposes only. Item number 9, discussion, the monthly report by Chief Esparza. Commissioners, I think this month was pretty easy right now. We have completed the construction at the new Clint Station. We are just awaiting to be the grand opening to be scheduled, as we have not received the flagpole that's going to go in front of that station, and some of the furniture that needs to go in that station. Other than that, we've also begun and opened the bid, only one sole bidder for the new remodel of the Montana Vista Station 2, which is on the agenda as well. And we will discuss the actual proposal on it. We have also awarded the bid out for the new roof at West Valley Fire Station. We're also about to, I believe, award today the new construction of the remodel of the kitchen and possible day room addition to West Valley. It's a 20-year-old building, so it's also getting remodeled. We did have 2 motor vehicle accidents within the fleet this month. One of them was a district vehicle struck by one of the employees and was at fault. And the other one was another department issued vehicle, which was not at fault. Both the employee and our volunteer are doing good. Not any injuries. Our vehicle for the district did sustain just the damage to the running board. So we will get that addressed with that employee. Any other questions?
I know we provide training for the firefighters to drive vehicles. For the staff, is there familiarization rides or anything like that?
We all have to do the same vehicle, the same driving test that the firefighters have to do.
All right.
We have to take the same eval course.
I'm talking about for staff though, that get into a, say, an F-150. They may be bigger than a Scion or whatever they drive, but is there opportunities for those to staff to have that available?
It can be if they feel uncomfortable with it. We do go out with them and ride along with them as well.
I think as Chief said, it's mostly confidence. If you have confidence up, you understand how to drive the vehicle, you're not gonna have an issue. But we have staff members I know that sometimes. Now, these accidents you're talking about were all at stations or?
No, one of them was out in the field. A car rear-ended it while it was making a turn. And then ours was our employee hit a curb.
Got it.
Any other questions, Commissioner? Item number 9, informational purposes only. Elva, are you there now? I think you're muted.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Hi, hello, good evening, everyone.
We're back to item number 6, discussion on communications report by Elva Ramos.
Good evening, everyone. For the month of January, there were a total of 73 calls in Clint, 128 in Fabens, 117 in Montana Vista, 139 in San Elizario, 262 in Socorro, and 178 in West Valley. As far as the COVID calls go, there were a total of 6 confirmed calls in Clint, 10 in Fabens, 9 Montana Vista, 14 in San Elizario, 22 in Socorro, and 7 in West Valley. For the fire marshal inspections, there were a total of 22, 29 permits issued, and 6 agriculture permits. As far as the all calls go, there were a total of 57 no response and 8 not available. For the breakdown, there were a total of 46 no response and 5 not available. Are there any questions?
No, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Item number 6, informational purposes only. We're still waiting on SB&G, so we'll skip them to item number 10. I think I opened the wrong one. Item number 10, discuss and take action on the ratifying the previous approved SCBA flow testing for all departments completed by board vendor EMS in the amount of $16,935.52. Commissioners, this is a yearly test for all the air packs. Need a motion just to ratify the expense. Have a motion by Commissioner
approved.
Barnes,
Second.
second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 11, discuss and take action on to ratify the purchase of 4 Retrax Pro covers from Alamo Auto Supply in the amount of $6,094 with 10 cents and 3 pull-out trays in the amount of $2,985 budgeted by the previous approval loan. Commissioners, this is just to give you a notification that we did buy some of the equipment that was lacking in some of these vehicles, just to ratify it, even though that you had already approved the purchase of all that equipment.
Is that all we needed, or we still need to buy
We're
some
waiting
more?
on equipment that was ordered, campers.
So this was part of the rollover of the loan? So there is
Yes.
still the 67,000 available. So we still need to finish all the purchases.
So we're waiting on the equipment that we wanted to order.
And do we have the camper shells on order, or?
Yes.
Yep.
That's correct, Chief Glenn, right? Yeah, he took his truck to get measured and
I'll move to approve.
have a motion by Commissioner Butler,
Second.
second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
and Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 12, discuss and take action to ratify the purchase of new graphics installed in the new units in the amount of $2,465 by Commercial Print Solutions budgeted previously on the approved loan. Again, Commissioners, this is a unit that was going, and this one is for, oh no, this was for the flagpole and the, oh, no, 12, sorry. I skipped to number 13. Rescue 708 and Chief 601 Suburban. This was part of the loan also, Commissioners.
Any concern by the chiefs? Well, Socorro's not here. Sanelli, Ray, you go with this?
You gotta speak at the podium because it's all recorded.
Yeah, Chief Esparza and I spoke about it today. There's some corrections that need to be made and it's already scheduled to be taken over there.
This is
Yes.
motion approved.
Second.
Have a motion by Commissioner Barnes, second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Butler?
Aye.
Commissioner Santana?
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes?
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 13, discuss and take action to ratify the purchase and installation of a flagpole at Las Colonias Clint Fire Station, the amount of $4,537.80 from KD Shoulder Company and Embers. Commissioners, again, this is a Region 19 buy board, so we did not have to get the additional quotes. And it was confirmed by Commissioner Santana as per your request that we can get items approved and then ratify at the next meeting. The new Station 2 in Las Colonias.
Move to approve.
Have a motion by Commissioner Butler. Do I have I'm sorry?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
and Commissioner Barnes.
Aye.
Motion carries. Commissioner, just so you know, in the next couple of weeks, we'll be able to turn on your microphones. We're just waiting for the acoustical panels to get here because everything will echo if we leave it on. So that's why you're having to press the microphone. I know it's hard. Item number 14, discuss and approve the bid 2022-024-01 for West Valley Fire Department located at 510 East Vint to remove and replace the entire roof per specifications.
And the amount budgeted for this, commissioners, was $200,000.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, 204. No, stand by. You have to open the bid. I think there's just one.
We need to open the bids.
Two, three, two, four.
Okay, this is bid number 2022-0201-1, Master Team.
That's the wrong bid.
Yeah, it's got a different number on the
Give me a
agenda. But if it's the one for West Valley, that should be the right one. I think they just labeled it incorrectly. Go ahead and open the commission. It's in public view.
As you replace our panels and trim that are same color, remove and replace existing R panels, gutters, channel coping.
No, that's for Tornillo.
Yes, Tornillo Fire Department.
Yeah, it's the panels. Give us a
We're
second.
missing one.
It's not the one that's in the Dropbox?
No, because it's
No,
sealed.
it
It's a
should be
sealed bid.
sealed. The one he just opened is actually item number 17.
What's
Let's
the
go-
one that's on the file then?
Those are the ones we're ratifying that were already opened. So let's go to item number 17, Commissioners, discuss and take action on bid 2022-0201-1. And I believe so. It should have been open. Yeah, go ahead and read that one, Commissioner.
Tornillo Fire Department, and the total is 19,200. Okay, these three bids are for 2022-0202-1. This is from J&E Sanchez Painting LLC. The exterior paint at Clint Fire Station. Total price for this project, $36,430. Second bid by Master Team USA. For same for Clint Fire Station, 32,000 even. And this is the third bid by Aredi Enterprises, AREDI. Total amount, $36,822. Okay, I'm gonna go on to the next one, the next project, bid number 2022-0203-1. First one is J&E Sanchez Painting LLC. There's San Elizario Fire Station. Total price for this project is $24,720. Next bid is Master Team USA for the Sanelli Fire Station. Total 29,500. The last one is Aredi Enterprises. Also specifying the Sanelli Fire Station. Total amount, $33,010.
Is that all of them, Commissioner?
Negative. The very first one that I opened, is for the Tornillo Fire Station, did I give you guys that one?
You said it was 19,200?
Okay, yeah.
What was the vendor, Commissioner?
Master Team USA.
And there was only one for
Only
that one?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Is that all of them?
Yes, that is it.
I need a motion to approve, or us to review the bid and award it to the to the qualified bidder and the lowest bidder that qualifies our specs
I make a motion
for us to
Allow-
review.
to allow the chief to review these bids, and we'll accept the one that conforms to what we were asking.
Second.
For the record, Commissioner Avalos in the meeting at 6:24 PM. I have a motion by Commissioner Santana, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos. Motion carries. Commissioners, going back to the other two, number 14 and 15, those are ratifications of the ones that were already open. There was a single bidder, and they are on Dropbox. That's why they are on Dropbox. As per your instructions, Commissioner Santana was able to open them and review, and we would award them to the sole individual or the lowest bidder. Any questions?
They're both with,
Give me a second. I know the West Valley is within budget. We budgeted 200,000 for item number 14.
oh, can we just vote on 14 and then? Okay,
Do you have a motion for number 14?
move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Butler, second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
and Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 15, discuss and approve bid number 2022-0107-1, Montana Vista Fire Department Station located at 5411 Paso View to build and incorporate an additional to the existing building. Commissioners, this one, there is an additional item there because it is over budget, $50,000 over budget. Right now, the bid was awarded, but only for him to order the exterior of the building. My staff does feel that we should be building these stations to make them last and moving forward for that growth that's happening over there. We were only planning to do bathrooms, but talking to Chief Glenn, he would like offices in there. It's a little cumbersome because there's really not much use out of that station, but I think we should get it ready for future use. And I think 50,000 right now is about right because of the cost of materials that are going up, and we should leave that station ready for future. This will be adding 2 offices, a small area where they can possibly have like a kitchenette, bathrooms, and water and septic system that is not currently at that station. The station was not built to have any of that back when they built that. I can't recall that, but 20 plus years ago.
So we did budget 155,000 for this item. Since item number 14 was less, we can use those funds
No.
to,
Oh, item number 15, there's another item that's being bid out. But we have plenty of money still coming in, so the 50,000, I don't think is gonna make us, we've been taking quite a bit of money through the fire marshal's office, and we can allocate some of that money for that.
Chief, you're talking about the fire station, the
Station
smaller
2.
one, the station 2, okay. And you
Uh,
think it's a good price, good investment?
I think it's right now, it's the necessary thing to do. We
Okay.
did use that during the vaccination events. And I was kind of disappointed that our stations were not built up to standard, not to have bathrooms, not to have water. We just have a barn per se out there. And there is water available, so we are gonna add a septic system and bathrooms to it.
Don't we need 60,000, not 50?
Is it 60,000?
so
The-
it'd be
the difference
48.
between-
We would have to use 48 from the item number 14, and then you'd still be short 13,000.
Right, the total is 215 and we budgeted 155.
Right now, we just gave the authorization for the building. If you like, once we get the total price figured out and making sure, I want to get your input on this. I know Chief Glidden is adamant that he wants those, come on, Chief, go ahead and stand up here and just talk. And wants his offices, My plan was originally just to add bathrooms, but I have to agree with my staff. They're like, Chief, you've always said, let's not piecemeal it. Let's make it right. Let's leave it right for future. And I think this is one of the things we have to do.
Does work, okay. Yeah, I'm talking with Chief Esposito, and a couple of the commissioners in the past month or so. I think it'd be very beneficial to add a couple of offices and also a little meeting or a kitchenette area out there. With the growth that we are having and a lot of us are seeing out there. Also, during the duration that when Station 1 starts getting torn down and so forth, it'll give our members and myself a place that we can still.
So what are we doing on 15 and 16?
Commissioners, I like a motion or your consideration to approve the bid, even with the additional cost. And then we will bring you the total amount and where we're going to get the money at the next meeting. I know there is way more than plenty of money. We've been saving money in different locations. And I don't foresee a reason why we couldn't afford this building. Fabens.
Fabens.
Yeah, Fabens is here.
This is on Montana Vistas. Yeah.
Yes.
Marty, we're good on the money, on funds.
We're
coming in?
actually, what I'm thinking is we can actually use funds from the sale of assets of the units we've had. We've already collected $226,600 as of today. So some of that funds were used to purchase the trailer truck of 115,000. So that will leave us a balance of 110 that we do not have,
We didn't budget
no,
for that. Okay.
that we can use it to cover for these expenses. Also, the cost of inflation, as I'm noticing you guys opening the bids and giving me the numbers, there's some other items where they were under budgeted, and because inflation is happening, they are a little bit over the budget. So we need to sit down and review all the numbers.
We have, like I said, Commissioners, we have more than enough money. The Fire Marshal's office has brought in. Can you tell me how much we've brought in the next 30 days?
You've brought in as of today, 48,000.
Just in the last couple of days, couple of weeks. But we're bringing in a lot of construction lately, so this is money that we need to reinvest in our stations to make sure that we're able to carry out the mission that we're set out to do.
So it's motion to approve 15 and 16?
Yes.
Okay, so the motion to approve items 15 and 16.
Have a motion by Commissioner Avalos,
Second.
and this is both 15 and 16. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 16, Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Santana,
Aye.
Barnes,
Aye.
and Avalos. Just
Aye.
making sure I reiterate, because I know that Dale here will get me later for not having it written down. Item number 20, discuss and approve the purchase of 80 Life Pack batteries from Stryker Medical in the amount of $23,329.60. Commissioners, we own 80 Life Pack
Did we,
AEDs.
Chief, did we skip 18 and 19?
18 and 19.
Did we? I did, sorry. Discuss and take action on allowing members of the Clint Fire Department 4, San Luis Fire Department 1, West Valley Fire Department 1 to attend basic EMT class of Live EMS Academy. Cost per student is $1,980 to include tuition, books, materials, uniforms, background check, drug screen, and immunization totaling $11,880 for 6 students.
How long are these classes, Chief?
I have no idea, Commissioner. Let me see.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
It is a budgeted item, Commissioner. One of you.
Is somebody calling in,
No,
trying to connect?
not here. I can look at it if somebody's calling in and nobody's calling in. I have a motion by Commissioner Barnes, second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, and Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 19, discuss and take action on approval to replace fuel pump, panel, control board, and brush 202 from Daco Fire Equipment in the amount of $2,674.75. Item number 19. Oh, I'm sorry. 19, a fuel pump and a panel control board for a brush 202 from Daco Fire Equipment. Put my paperwork here. Commissioner, apparently the fuel pump and the control board went out on it, and the total parts were $2,674.75. We did purchase the parts, and our maintenance department did install it. I need a motion to ratify the purchase.
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Barr, second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
and Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 20, discuss and approve the purchase of 80 Life Pack batteries from Stryker Medical for the amount of $23,329.60. Commissioners, this is for the 80 Life Packs that we have here, and they're all starting to go out at the same time. And this is the cheapest price. Stryker is the owner now of Life Pack 1000, so they are the cheapest price. And they are giving us the reduced price, and they did send a letter for sole source. And I'd like a motion to approve.
And we do have available in medical supplies, 46,000.
They're the original OEM batteries to those Life Packs.
Motion to approve?
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Santana, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
and Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 21, discuss and take action on allowing members of the Sheriff's Department to use our gyms throughout the district. Commissioners, I've been approached by one of the sergeants, and I think right now we have a great working relationship with the Sheriff's Department. So you all know we are using their facilities, and one of them asked if he could use one of our gymnasiums. It's not going to happen often. We can allow and disallow the use of it, and I think it's going to be good because we're going to keep an eye on our facility also as law enforcement. It won't be a lot. I think the last time that it was allowed at West Valley, and I think it was only one or two guys right after their shift. They were there 30 minutes and they'd leave. Like your consideration for them to be able to use our facilities.
Do they have to do like a release of liability form?
I believe they're already, our insurance already has forms available for them to be able to do that.
The Chiefs are, no issues with the Chiefs?
I have no idea.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. We had one issue back when the SO office was in our office, in our station. They were allowed to use the facility, and what we're finding is a lot of these guys were not cleaning their equipment, and they were leaving the scatter equipment all over the place. Not only that, at one point I remember one of the deputies had their family there, and I think at that point it causes some kind of liability for us in case something happens to their kiddos or their family. So that was the only inconvenience that I see with allowing them to have access to our gyms.
Yes.
Could there be some general rules that we could set to?
Yes,
to make
definitely.
sure
We
that they
can make
follow
sure
at the
that it's
fire
only
stations?
the employee itself and not family members. Like I said, right now, there's only one. I put it as a general so that we already have the guidance in case there's additional. But right now, it's a sergeant, so I know that it's going to be somebody that's going to look after our facility because they're the sergeant running the shift, so I don't think it's going to be something that's going to be a regular deputy that's brand new out on the field. but I'd like to keep the working relationship with them as we're using their facilities as well. And they've been nothing but courteous to us right now for us to use their facility and not have any issues there.
No, I agree with the one team, one fight, and I agree with Chief. I mean, gotta be some level of accountability, maybe a sign-in sheet. That way they sign in.
Just, you know, all our facilities now have video surveillance, as you can see here. So we'll know if somebody took their family, we'll know if there's a complaint, who left the weights dirty, who broke it, because there's actually video out there. Just so you know, on Clint Station 1, we are moving their workout gym to the new station because that floor there in the second floor is actually taking the brunt of all that weight of all those weights, and it's actually starting to sag. So we're removing all that weight into the new facility out in Las Colonias.
So are we talking about using the gym here? Or are we
All
talking
the-
about using the gym at
No,
all stations?
At all the stations.
I know
So
some stations
Chief,
are
I do
locked.
have a question. How are you going to be giving them access since everything is locked or everything needs to
That's what I was
be
gonna say. I know some.
with the key fob? I'm a little bit, how are we going to handle that situation? And
Here's with a key fob. Most of the stations are now equipped with key fob, so we'll know who went in at what time. Like I said, all our facilities have video surveillance, so I don't think there's gonna be an issue, and I don't think we should be worried about the deputy sheriff.
I have
stealing our
another
equipment.
question as well. What if, you're just talking about one sheriff right now, but what if all the sheriffs want to start coming?
Like I said, right now, there's only
This
one.
too- It's this one too, Commissioner. I mean, it's this facility too. It's not just the stations.
It's no difference,
Right.
Commissioners, it's no difference from us having our volunteers go and use our facilities.
It's good to build that camaraderie, and I appreciate the sheriff's department.
There it is. Okay. I personally don't have an issue with law enforcement going in our station. They already have the codes to our doors. When they're on patrol, they need a restroom, they go and use facilities. We've never had a problem with any of the deputies and or border patrol accessing and maintaining our building.
All right, same here, Commissioners. Most of the sheriffs out here do have the code to our stations. They're allowed to use a restroom if they want to sit down and eat instead of sitting in their vehicles. We do have a good working relationship as well, so there's no issue with us.
Yeah, happy to hear that, Chief. Hey, Chief, you mentioned moving a gym to the Colonias station.
Yes, sir.
Is that an inconvenience for the membership?
Well, that's where Chief Cordero, we talked about it,
Yeah,
moving
we
it there.
talked about it. There's no inconvenience. My guys will work out anywhere. But it is causing a warp on the rafters of the station. And we actually want to incorporate more equipment, but we can't because of the weight limit that is already there. And then plus us being up there, and it does put a big weight on it.
Let me tell you, when they see that new station up there, I think the volunteers are gonna wanna go up there and spend more time at that brand new facility.
Chief,
Yeah, that's true.
thank you, Chief. I understand the dynamic might be a little bit different in our community stations versus here where we have more office staff and all of our administrative assistants. So I'd like to hear more about their concerns for opening up this facility.
I think it's only after hours. Most of the people that have wanted to work out is after hours. They don't wanna be here. Plus, our gym is really separate from all the offices. So realistically, we can limit at what time they can come in and say yes or no. But I think the majority of the deputies that want to work out is the ones that are the graveyard because they get off, do a quick workout and go home, versus the ones that are working Monday through Friday, the 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. They can go to a regular gym or their home gyms. It's the ones that are working the nights and sleeping during the day. I think those are the ones that are requesting the use of the building. I know that's the way it was in the west side. And now the west side has a separate gym from the building. That's why they stopped, because they wanted to work out early morning and there's people asleep at the station. Now it's separate. Now it's away from everything. So I think it's a very doable. And we can play it by ear. This is not something that would be set in stone. If I see that there's a problem, we can always remove their access to our facilities.
Yeah,
So
you
I
you don't see them coming here as much as going to the out. to the
Correct.
stations.
No, yeah, I work out, believe it or not. But I work out and there's nobody been in there, but I think we would be more comfortable if it was after hours, after 5 or after 6. It is the administration office. And we don't want just people running back and forth during our working hours, especially.
I don't think there's gonna be a problem. Right now, the request is not even for this facility. We can
Well, it
always
might be
look
an
at it on a
opportunity.
case-by-case basis, and we can make definitely rules for this facility.
Right, but you're asking us to approve their use of ESD facilities. So either we say it's going to be limited to certain facilities, or it's going to be all facilities with certain rules and timeframes. I mean, I just don't want to do a blanket yes, and then you.
Well, you can do an approval based on, we review what their request is, and then it's gonna case-by-case basis. Like I said, one is right now, and it's on the west side. It's one request, is the sergeant. Of course, if we start seeing that there's an influx of usage, we can limit the times that we can do. And that's gonna be our prerogative, just like they have their facilities, and we can only use them when they're available, and we can do the same thing. We're just trying to extend the same courtesy that they extend to us and work as a team.
I agree, and I think it's an opportunity to show that, that brother and sisterhood. You guys hear the call volumes more than we do. I don't think it's gonna support, their call volume is gonna support them in the gym that much, you know what I'm saying?
In the 13 years that I've already been here, 14, there's only been one request, and it's coming in right now. So I don't think it's something that is gonna, right now, really cause a big problem for us.
I don't see them coming here, because
If anything, we could probably just put that restriction here, maybe just business hours.
Or if their concern is that they don't want to be watched when they're working out and getting that physique that they want, then we can restrict the hours till after hours.
Could we say on a case by case basis, but you know, I would appreciate if the staff here have some reservations about it that Chief you.
I will
take
look
those
at it in a
into
case-by-case
account.
basis, Commissioner.
May I suggest you just exclude the district office from it, having a facility 3/4 of a mile down the road?
Well,
Since this is a secure building, you know, there's a lot of equipment laying around and everything. I'm not saying the deputy's gonna take it, but what if the gate stays open or something like that? I would just exclude this facility completely and keep it to the fire stations.
well, actually, Fabens doesn't have a gym. This is the gym for Fabens.
Yeah, but they're part of the ESD.
No, but that's what I'm saying. He's saying that we have a facility down the
Oh,
road. They
oh,
don't have a
okay.
gym. This is the gym.
Would feel more comfortable excluding this building for that. I mean, I know they're sheriff's deputies, but even they're not perfect, so.
That would be a good idea. Just exclude this facility, and if the need arises, then we can discuss it again. So a
Okay.
motion to allow the sheriffs to use our community's fire stations to work out.
We can look at the certain hours, definitely. I don't want them there at your facility while you guys are asleep. That's why one request is right now, and it's because he's in the graveyard shift. He just wants to get a 30, 40-minute workout and go home and go to sleep for the rest of the day. So I don't see the problem.
and we have Ken Law online. Ken, is there any concerns from your vantage point?
The only concern I have is doing it on a case-by-case basis based on the person. I think it's just better to limit it to certain facilities at certain times. Were y'all able to hear that?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
we heard you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
we thought you were asleep, Ken.
I'm sitting here just with bated breath.
Can I make a motion to approve the use
There's
of,
already a motion,
Oh.
Commissioner, by Commissioner Santana. I'm
Uh,
waiting on a second, but we can modify it to what,
I
your
was gonna,
guidance.
I was gonna request to exclude this building, which you already did, but also create some kind of guidance or policy for when those facilities can be used and how we keep track of who's using them. would be
Like I
nice.
said, all our cameras, if there is any inappropriate activity, they're all being recorded. So I don't see a problem with that. Now, most of our new facilities are all getting access control, and we can deny or approve their entrance at certain hours, and we can definitely look into that.
And we don't affect if they're staying overnight,
Right.
firefighters asleep.
Yeah, that's the last thing I
wake-
want. If, when they're working out and they're playing music, because I get it, they want to play music and there's firefighters asleep, I will not have that. Do I have a second? There's already a motion, Commissioner. I just need a second.
Second.
There's a motion by Commissioner Santana, second by Commissioner Barnes to allow them to use the facilities with the exception of the district office. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
and Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 22, discuss and take action on allowing all department chiefs and assistant chiefs to attend the Texas Fire Chiefs Spring Academy in Grapevine, June 2022, to include registration fees, travel expenses, and per diems submitted by Chief Esparza. Commissioners, I had the same item last year, and they were sold out. I believe there's still some availability for them to take this great opportunity to get some knowledge from different chiefs. And it was, I think, an excellent class. It's for them, it should be nothing but a learning experience if they choose to take it. But I am making it available, and we do have funding to be able to attend these classes. It is a 2-year course, so this is not something that they can just show up and expect to get a certificate and they will have to do a paper. You will have to turn in some homework. So it's something that there will be some effort into it. And this is just for them to know that we are trying to invest in them and to go and get some chief training.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
and Commissioner Avalos. Motion carries. Item number 23, discuss and take action on the purchase of a Q siren for the new tanker 501 2022 Pierce with VIN number ending in 7238 for Montana Vista Fire Department has offered to pay for half of the price. Q siren to be installed by Siddons Martin.
Motion approved.
Second.
You haven't even heard the amount. The
I've
amount
already
is
heard the amount.
The amount is 4,127 with 68.
4,127 with 68 cents, which Montana Vista Fire Rescue would be liable for half of it. And you would be approving for us to add a siren of that cost, of that additional cost, a Q2 siren. Chief, any words? Come on now. Who was the first?
Motion by Commissioner Barnes and second by myself.
I have a motion by Commissioner Barnes, second by Commissioner Santana. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
and Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Discuss and take action on receiving funding from the county to hire temporary staff. Commissioners, we were awarded $160,000 from the county, and I need approval to receive that funding and have Commissioner Santana sign the contract with the county. This will allow me to hire 4 temporary EMTs for us to continue the vaccination efforts and small little vaccines here and there as it progresses and till the need dies off. The county's footing the bill. Yes, we can. Can we do that?
I didn't hear the question. I'm sorry.
Can we merge 24 and 25 together and take it one shot?
Let me look at the agenda again. Hang on.
One is to receive the funding and the other one is to allow for me to hire the 4 temporary EMTs.
Yes, you can do it that way. I figured that's what those were when I read it.
Do I have a motion?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
The county funding is specifically for EMTs or is there
EMTs.
other uses that can be applied to?
EMTs. EMTs for the COVID vaccination events.
We requested that funding from the county?
They budgeted for us and we're just put in for the funding. They are the ones that did it.
We've got the agreement done.
The agreement between the county and the ESD is
Mhm.
done?
It's our
Yes, and
funds.
it's signed. I mean, it's ready to go.
Okay. And the budget for the 4 temporary EMTs, how
So-
long?
Well, right now they want to do it as on a case-by-case basis, so they're authorizing 6 months at a time. Because if we try to do like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we couldn't get an EMT to come work here for 2, 3 weeks as a temporary, no benefits. And this will be temporary, no benefits.
When you say temporary no benefits, are we talking based on hours of service providing or?
Yes, in other words, once the money is exhausted, they no longer have a job.
So you budgeted how much per hour for each EMT?
The amount they gave us was 160,000. I'm looking at paying an EMT about $20 an hour to come work here until they tell us no more funding.
40 hours a week?
40
for
hours a
6
week.
months?
Six
That equals
months.
160K?
No, it's less.
What do you?
They're only want to give me 6 months at a time.
So how long will this amount here take us out to with 4 EMTs?
A year. Should take us out a year.
That will give these kids jobs for 1 year?
It's 6 months at a time. We're gonna play it by ear. If in 6 months everything's died down and we don't have a need for them, then we will terminate the contract at 6 months.
And return funding we haven't expended?
Yes,
And where would they go? Where would they work out of?
here. This is a win-win for us, commissioners. We're getting funding that we didn't have to budget for.
I'm wondering if there are other things we can do with this money besides just hire,
That's the only thing we can
Temporary
use it
staff.
for. That's the only thing we can
or
use
are
it
there
for.
other temporary staff that we can?
That's the
hire
only
for
thing
the
that's the
stations?
only thing that was
So
inclusive to
this
this.
money's earmarked from county for. EMTs.
Right now, all the fire marshals were doing that. Of course, we have some of them out in training. We're having to keep up with all the new construction. So that's why they're funding us for EMTs, that they will be the ones doing everything the fire marshals were out doing. And that's what's allocated for vaccination, COVID vaccination events.
Okay.
Do I have a
Motion to approve?
I have a motion by Commissioner Santana. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Barnes. This is for item 24 and 25th. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
and Commissioner Avalos. Motion carries. David, you ready? All right. Discuss and take action on financial audit by SB&G. Item number 7. Press the button there. Person. I'm sorry? Yes,
Tap to-
yes.
Oh, I see. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to be handing over copies of the audit report to the commissioners, so I'll be back momentarily to begin the presentation. Thank you, Chief Esparza. Good afternoon, commissioners. Thank you very much for having me here tonight. As you all know, I'm here to present the audit of fiscal year 2021. My name is Tello Cabrera. I'm a shareholder at SB&G, and I was part of the engagement team. We have 2 audit shareholders that were involved, myself and also Joanne Nugent. The 2 of us were responsible for supervising the engagement. And this is our third year assisting the ESD2 with their audit. We also do other audits for other municipalities here locally and nonprofits and other governmental agencies as well, similar to ESD2. So I want to make the presentation as brief as possible. I know we have other things to do tonight. The first thing I'd like to say is that we are issuing a positive result as usual. So obviously, the first thing you all want to know is whether there was fraud, whether we discovered any abuse or anything that makes the auditor feel like we need to raise a red flag. And in this case, we don't have anything of that. So we have no news, which is the best news the auditor can give you, right? So I'll guide you through the report just to point out some of the most important things that you should be looking at. And I'll just go to page 14. Page 14, you'll see our independent auditor's report. And you'll see that this is still marked as draft and it's pending your final approval. However, we don't anticipate any changes to our opinion or anything at this point, all right? So here in the audit report, we talk about what the auditor's responsibility is. And just so all the commissioners understand, the audit that we're performing is an audit on the financial statements. It's not an audit on fraud. It's not a forensic audit, as it's a common misconception. We're not looking at every single thing, and we're not trying to catch Mariana or the chief trying to do something wrong. What we're trying to do is we're trying to validate the financial statements that are being presented to you. And in particular, these financial statements are going to go to the county. So we want to make sure that these numbers are fairly represented and that there's no material errors that need to be made before they go to the public. All right. So that's our responsibility. We did design the audit. We have certain statistical procedures. We do some procedures to try to look for obvious fraud. And we also evaluate internal controls. We evaluate checks and balances. And we report on whether we think there's some room for improvement for some of those internal controls. Okay. So in the page 15, right after the first page, we have our opinion. And we are, like I said, we are giving a clean audit opinion for the fiscal year ended 2021. And it's the best kind of report that the auditor can issue. Very straightforward, basically no corrections needed for the financial statements, okay? I'll talk briefly over the finances at the end of the fiscal year. So you can have an understanding of what's going to be read by the county, what's going to be presented here. So page 17 is one of the most important parts, and we have the statement of net position there. So what this is essentially a balance sheet if you've seen something similar for other kinds of commercial businesses, right? A balance sheet shows the amount of cash reserves, which is very important at the end of the fiscal year. It also shows how much you've invested in buildings and equipment. And it also shows how much your long-term debt is, okay? So your cash reserves at the end of the year were $5.2 million. And to give you some perspective, the year before that, in 2020, you were sitting at $7 million, okay? So there was a very significant decrease there that was done on purpose, right? The district is trying to use some of those reserves. So there was a lot of capital improvements occurring during the year. And you were able to reduce those reserves by approximately $2 million, give or take. The biggest change is going to be non-depreciable assets, depreciable assets. That's going to be basically your buildings, your fire trucks. It's going to be your other vehicles. Basically, everything that has a useful life that goes beyond a year is recognized in the balance sheet. And there was approximately $7 million invested in long-term things such as vehicles and whatnot. And to give you some figures, the biggest purchase was a $2.2 million purchase of 2 command units that was funded with federal funds. There was $1 million spent on the new vehicle fleet, approximately 38 new vehicles, if I remember correctly. Also, $1.4 million in building improvements, and another $1.7 million in air packs, cylinders, and scuba masks, which tend to be really expensive. So as you can imagine, that was the focus of our audit. The focus of our audit was reviewing those expenses, being comfortable that we had the right support, that they were properly presented in your audit. In particular, for the items that were purchased with federal funds, we even looked at the procurement behind that because that is required for our federal contract. So we don't have any findings in that regard as far as your capital purchases for the year. Your long-term debt, it's sitting at $8.8 million, as you can see in this page. And there was no new debt issued in fiscal year 2021, which is another thing to point out. There was one loan issued in 2020, which was actually spent in 2021, but no new debt. So that really is the highlight for the balance sheet. A little less cash than last year, still a very strong cash position. And then, of course, you guys are paying down your debt in accordance to the debt schedules, right, in accordance to the contracts. Now, on page 21, a few pages further ahead, page 21 is the statement of revenues and expenses, right? So this shows the money that the district brought in, and it shows the money that the district expended during the year. And you can see there how there is a decrease in your reserves, right? Because you did spend more than you brought in for fiscal year 2021. A couple of very important things. Obviously, grant income, $2.4 million. Pretty much all of it, with the exception of about $15,000, is coming from the county. So they are your, not only are they a related entity, but they're also a major funder in this year. And as we just talked about briefly ago, about $2.2 million was used in the purchase of 2 command units. And then we had another $200,000 used for COVID expenses, mainly for salaries during 2021. Also, we had under charges for services, we had the amount that was received for vaccines, and that was a private grant. It's not considered a federal grant. And then your other larger sources of revenues, property taxes and sales taxes. Property tax revenue remained essentially flat. There was not a significant change from the previous year. But the sales tax revenue had a significant jump of approximately, I want to say about $1.3 million, or about $1 million, I'm sorry, in sales tax revenue. That's in line with other, what we've seen with other municipalities here locally. A big jump in sales tax revenue for 2021. Your expenditures, public safety, that's going to be your operating expenditures. It's basically the cost of running the stations, your utilities, your repairs, salaries, employee benefits. It's your operating expenditures. Those are $4.3 million, and they're up approximately 13% from the previous fiscal year. So we do have an increase in our operating expenditures. Capital outlay is the big star of the show. That's how much you spend on your building, vehicles, and also your command units combined. So, and that really is what's making the big difference in this fiscal year, as you can imagine, how much you spend there. Debt service is very comparable to the last 2 years. Basically, we're on budget with what you're paying on debt service, and the negative number you see there, $1.8 million. That's how much you reduce your reserves. Okay. And really, those are the highlights from a financial standpoint. This audit was a little different than other years because of the amount of grant funding that was received by the district. So you were subject to federal audit requirements, which are known as a single audit. So in case anybody asks, did you get a single audit? The answer is yes, right? It might be a question that the county might ask. And you can see the single audit. Let me show you where it is. Towards the end, in page 69. And this is just so you can have an idea. This schedule there, page 69, is the summary of federal expenditures. The only reason I'm showing it to you is because this is going to be uploaded into the data collection website, which is a government website in which all federal audits are collected. So it's basically a schedule showing the federal money that you received and basically how much was spent. Okay, you can see you had 2 different agreements, the ARPA funding being the major one, and you also had some other funding under the Coronavirus Relief Fund. So this may be a one-time thing, depending on what else happens. If more ARPA funds continue to come in, you will continue to be subject to this additional audit requirement. For fiscal year 2021, it was fairly straightforward because basically it was just one purchase of 2 fire tankers. But it might get a little more complex depending on how that ARPA funding continues to to flex. I heard that you guys are probably going to receive another bulk of ARPA funding, was the previous motion. Just keep in mind, if you receive more than $750,000 in a given year, you are subject to this requirement that I'm talking about right now. Okay. We do have one finding in internal control, and that's going to be on page 72. And it's essentially a follow-up of the same finding we had in the previous audit cycle. And it has to do with updating the equipment listing for the fire departments and for the district as well. So we have revisited this matter every year, and we've seen a lot of improvement. We notice now that there's a policy in place, and also there's a listing, and then also there are monthly reviews of the listing, and there's documentation that is being kept. Basically, the district is taking a note of the things that are being counted and spot check. However, the accuracy of the list is not quite there. There's a lot of old things, old computers, old radios, and other things that have passed through salvage life that are still part of our list of inventory and need to be cleaned up. Okay, so that's the reason why the finding is still here. We are planning on leaving it until we see that cleaned up, which we think that you guys can do it. We've seen a lot of improvement again, and we're hoping that next year the list will be cleaned up and we'll have less obsolete items and less older items in there. To give you a little bit of perspective, the list is being put together by the district with the help of the different fire departments. However, a lot of the things in those lists are very old, and a lot of the times the information is not complete because it's not available, right? Serial numbers for certain equipment are no longer there, and the actual cost that it costs to buy some of those things is not available, right? So the chief is trying to go with his staff. They're trying to go through this list and identify those things that are no longer in use, and that should be removed. So that's the condition right now. But we didn't find anything else other than that. We also did a bit of a spot check ourselves, and we found the things in the list, but we also found that sometimes they didn't have serial numbers, or it was kind of hard to really identify something in the list. And sometimes things were being moved a lot from one vehicle to another. So those are the challenges that still need to be addressed in order to clear this finding. Okay. So that's essentially the highlight for this year's audit. The only other thing I would like to say is that even though there was a lot of movements and there was a lot of changes done to the budget, the district was very, they worked very well with us in the sense that as the year passed by, we were kept in touch as to all the updates, all the new grants that you received, and even any budget amendments that you had to do. We were basically either consulted or we were made a part of those conversations. So it was easier for us to plan our audit, even though we had all these changes. And we really didn't have any surprises as we were going through the audit exercise. So it's very easy for me to say, clean opinion, everything's good, no problem. But the reality is that it really is a year-long effort in trying to come up with this good result, especially in a year in which there was a lot of back and forth. Okay, so I want to see if any of the commissioners have any questions about the audit or anything in particular.
I got a question. First, thank you.
Sure, thanks
I
to
know
you.
Sometimes all this money coming in, money going out, comes like a blurry shell game at times, and you help differentiate.
Your
things.
button.
I got my button pushed. But I want to say thank you to Roger and the team, of course, and can you hear me now? All right. Roger and the team, of course, for helping out. Now, my understanding, you said we're overreach on radios and stuff. You went out to the stations and counted radios, or?
We had a small sample. Yeah, we did a small sample of that. I know the chief does his own spot checks with the staff of the district. And what they're finding is that there's a lot of old stuff that's still in the list, and it hasn't been removed.
All right, I just want to make sure it wasn't a paid announcement from.
No, Commissioners, one of the things we found out, and it's part of the audit that we talked about, because I was in a disagreement with the finding, it comes to be is that our policy is very.
It's very restrictive.
Right.
Yes.
So it doesn't define that we cannot track the expense on the old equipment, but our policy says that we're gonna track the new equipment, but they have to look at it as all equipment. So there's equipment here that's been 20 years here, but I don't know what it costs. So it's blank because we don't know what it actually costs. So one of the suggestions he had is for me to amend that policy and remove that to say only the new equipment moving forward, so they don't have to put it in the audit. As the old equipment, we cannot track because we don't know what they paid for. We don't know how long it's been here. We
Well,
don't know.
yeah, and I agree, because old equipment don't cost nothing, because until you repair or replace it, that's where we incur the costs, and a lot of the old equipment we can't replace or repair because
Right.
especially the radios, you can't find batteries for the old 2500s, those that have been around, and everything's 6,000, 8,000 base, so.
So there's equipment that we still have, but our policy states we're gonna track it. So I have to remove that section in accordance to what they suggested, so that we don't have to track that old equipment. That's why we're being gigged on that one little, because it's overall.
Well, it's not a gig, it's a comment, not a gig. And,
Yeah, it's a finding. There's different degrees of importance, and this is the lesser importance. So it's basically something that we want you guys to fix, but it's not changing the fact that you have a clean audit. You can still say that you have a clean audit opinion, and then there's internal control problems that could be a material weakness. Those are things that need to be fixed right away. And then there's other things that are significant deficiencies, which are less important, but nonetheless, you should try to fix them, and that's what this is.
I know we're in a growing phase with logistics, and they're doing an amazing job, and I think they're working with the chiefs, I think it's working. You know, I mean, if it's not, please let Roger know, you know, but I think the effort's there, and I think we're doing a pretty damn good job on it.
As a matter of fact, I think they're still working right now, right? One of your stations. They're doing their audit right now.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mariana. Chief.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Great
Commissioner,
job, team.
I do have to bring back the draft copies with me since this is still a preliminary report, so I'll be picking this up right now.
Commissioner, I do need a motion to accept the audit.
Motion to accept the audit.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Santana, second by Commissioner Butler. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you very much. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.
Item number, let me make sure because I might have skipped one. Item number 26, discussion on district vehicle guidance submitted by Commissioner Barnes.
Roger, hey, I appreciate it. I'm gonna make it quick, guys. On this one here, I asked that the chiefs continue to work with Roger on vehicle guidance. If the guidance from the ESD is not meeting your intent or meeting your mission requirements, I should say, please work with Roger on that, and I think we work it out as your chiefs meeting. I understand you guys are having a monthly chiefs meeting, correct?
Quarterly.
And as these concerns come up, I ask you to continue to work with Roger. If you can't, we'll look at options, how to fix it. I think that we have a clear and concise pattern. I get down to vehicles, I get into vehicles with the intent, I'm sorry, clear intent. Some vehicles are being replaced. We have vehicles that are sitting in stations, maybe not getting all the miles it should. I ask that you take a look at that, and again, continue to work with Chief Esparza on that. And because it don't make a lot of sense to pay for, I got it, in the business we're in, 90% of our budget goes to what if. But we're good stewards of that taxpayers' money. We want to make sure we're not investing in vehicles and stuff like that. It's just sitting at a station, not getting used, not getting miles on it. It's the right vehicle for the right job. And I ask that you guys continue to work with Roger on that, and Roger will work with you guys. And I don't know if I can open this up, but is there any concerns from the chiefs on vehicles at this time? All right, I know we got some taping to do on some of them, and Roger's working with you on that. I got it, and continue to work with that, and I think we'll be better in the end on our vehicles. So I know there's some concerns on take-home vehicles. I think there's a clear policy on that. And continue to work with us, leadership on that. And, again, if it's not meeting your mission requirements, please bring it up to Roger. I think we'll get worked out or let us know.
Now, we also realize that every department's different. The take-home policies will vary. And there's always some tweaking. Not everybody's the same. Everybody works differently. And we respect that. You guys have been figuring it out. We appreciate that.
No. Item number 226, just information. Item number 27, discussion on special requests.
I think it's supposed to be special projects.
Special
All right,
projects.
and I know there was a special projects timeline on this. I know some of us missed it. All right, so I'm asking you to work with Roger on this. I don't want someone to miss this and miss a special projects requirement and have that affect our community, affect your station, affect your volunteers, affect the ESD. I think I'd like to, next time we do this though, I'd like to see some guidance put out on what to present for a special project. If I'm a fire chief for a station, I tell Roger I need a new truck and that's all I tell him. It's really not a special project. All right, it's not what he needs. He needs the cost, needs the justification, needs the, how's it going to improve your community, how it's going to improve your fire station, whatever it may be. I think some of us missed the deadline, so I'm gonna leave that to Roger to, if that can be reopened and maybe if you have special projects that are needed for your community, for your station, for yourselves, that we meet these expenses and it's easy. We're all busy, guys. I get it. We're all busy and, but we want to make sure that we kind of take care of each other on this. And is there any questions on the special projects?
What was the deadline?
February 7th? February 7th. They had a month to submit for requests.
And is there an issue with extending that deadline?
There's no issue, commissioners. They were given a month. Most of them didn't read their emails and then they wanted an extension when the other ones did their due diligence to submit.
But
because we're trying to keep with the deadline of when we're going to get our budget ready for you all to look at and delete.
But that's what I'm asking. Is this part of a larger schedule?
Yes.
That you have these strict deadlines that?
Yes, because
move?
so a lot of the chiefs just submitted what their wants are. Now we're going to have to go chase down what that is going to cost so we can see so we can try to plot it into what our special projects are going to be for the whole district. It's in the grand scheme of things. So we're having to have all our ES staff go hunt for those specific needs and wants that they want to see if we can accomplish them in the grand scheme of everything that we're trying to accomplish when we remodel stations, when we do.
No, I agree, Roger. And hold on, Chief. The chiefs should be coming to you with 80%. And I got it. They're not the subject matter experts on where to order stuff. You guys are smart, don't get me wrong, but we have logisticians back here that the SMEs are the subject matter experts on where to identify and get the best cost, best resources. But they should be coming to 80%, especially on the justification piece. This is why I need this. This is what it will do for our community, for my volunteers, for me as a chief. Go ahead, Chief.
No, the only thing that I had is,
It's on.
it's green.
I fixed it.
Yeah, the only thing that I have is, one of the things about the deadline is, and then me and him had addressed this, is, when you send an email and you're asking for a response, make sure you got it, reply back, because obviously mine, and he did mention it, I was missing some parts, but I had submitted it before 5. And I even spoke to Sergeant, my bad, Chief Salcedo, and asked him, have you received it? Because honestly, if he would have replied back before 5 and said, hey, you're missing this, I would have resubmitted it. You see what I mean? That was the only biggest issue that me and him had, but we kind of figured it out. So,
Everybody that submitted is being looked at right now, and we did have a little meeting with the staff that's getting currently all the pricing, everything that we are looking for. I'll look at, if they would have sent it even a day late, I would have still looked at it, but some of them didn't even, be honest. Chief Glidden, you were one of them. Did you have anything ready to go? You did not get an email on it? So
Can
again,
I give a recommendation?
Something last, I said a couple items last year, and none of them got approved, so why not look at them this year?
Usually when I have my staff send an email and the chiefs know that, if it's a colonial, like right now we're dealing with the cancer insurance, I do let them know to follow up with the phone call because sometimes they're busy, they're working and they don't check their emails. So I do let them know, follow up with the phone call to make sure you spoke to somebody, leave a voicemail to let them know to check their emails.
these emails are going
No, I
directly
agree.
from me to the chiefs.
No, I agree. And on special projects, guys, this is not a new concept. We do it every year. But we got to keep each other honest. I think we have the chiefs meeting now. I think it's an opportunity to reinterject, hey, guys, don't forget and, but you,
That was the last point I was gonna make. We had a chiefs meeting and it was never brought up or at least mentioned, don't forget. You know,
That was brought up. You were late. You were actually late.
all right, I don't want to call each other out, guys. I apologize on that. I just want to make sure, hey, I don't want someone to suffer because we missed the deadline, or a community to suffer. If it's something we need for the community, something we need for our volunteers, for the stations, for our vehicles, it's special projects. And, if we can get them before that, I asked Chiefs to work with Roger on this and,
I want to give props though. Fabens, who did all that writing. It's pretty good, man.
maybe,
Congrats.
maybe we could provide, I remember being a young guy coming up, I didn't know what to put into a, projected, presentation, what the justifications were. If we could provide something to chiefs, maybe a template or something like that, what the ESD is looking for next year. That way you can say, hey, they can look up these projects, look up what's it gonna take, what the projected cost is gonna be. It's not gonna be spot on.
Just, all we're
80%.
asking is for a little bit of information because a lot of it, it's more like I want a battery operated tool. Which battery operated tool do you want? You know what I mean? It's
Chief-
which one?
Chief, could the- it sounds like this process could be better and improved for next year. Maybe it requires a half-hour meeting with each chief. It's only on special projects, so you're not relying on them just to respond to an email and conform to a strict deadline. Like, put it on calendars, set up the meeting, have a discussion. So it's not just, what do you want? Let me see if I can approve it. No, let's talk about it together. Let's put a comprehensive strategy about
And a lot of it-
holistically for the ESD
And
and
a-
not just
and-
try to
and-
check off
And
boxes.
again, Commissioner, the ones that did submit, and I did have a conversation with Chief Reyes because he submitted for something that we are already looking at district-wide. Remember, one of the things that we're going to build is we're going to build them a station there. So why remodel the old part when we're looking at a new front part? So it doesn't make sense right now to invest money on that. We did have a quick conversation on that. He did submit for that. And we did have a quick talk and I said, we're taking it off because that's already part of the bigger scheme. But again, it's not so much that we didn't allow the time. It was a month. It was sent out. We do provide a lot of technology. We have iPads, telephones, everything. We need to start using the equipment. That's even for me. If I miss an email, I'd be the first one to be like, well, I missed it. So not saying, I'm not trying to throw anybody on the bus, but those are the things.
It's a
And-
simple request, Commissioner.
It wasn't even a thing.
Number one, item requested. Number two, reason for the request. Three, how will this impact the way the district conducts business? And why do you need it? And how will it be used? Yeah, you're right. Yes, and you're right. We could change a few things, but ultimately, right now, we're wanting to give the chiefs that didn't turn in their requests, if we can offer them that courtesy, chief.
Previous years, commissioners, the county did provide us with a financial planning and documentation calendar that we used to use before. And in the month of March and April, they would, I remember Wally would make sure I would send a letterhead, in our letterhead, to submit for special projects by the end of, I believe it was April. So I would send it at the beginning of March. They would have 2 months to submit special projects. And that was done prior years. And there was a calendar that Wally had provided for me.
Well,
Doesn't have specific dates, it just says months. Now, we can change it to fit our needs. If we want to do the month of February, by the end of February, you need to submit your special projects and provide that template. Why do you need it? What for? What goals? How is it going to help the community? Included in that with the calendar. So every year they know it's the same thing and they don't have an excuse to say, I didn't know.
Nope, fair enough. I don't think it's an excuse, and you're right.
It's a
I
recommendation.
mean, some of us don't even check our emails, so we're not going to catch it on a separate calendar. That's a possibility. And we do have the technology. I don't want to be out of line here. We do have the technology, I agree, but nothing replaces that face-to-face. Hey, don't forget your special projects, guys. You know what I'm saying? Especially, I think we have a new meeting now with the chiefs. I think this is going to help clear some of this up. But my understanding is, I think going to be afforded the opportunity for this year, maybe 2 days to have whatever they needed put in.
Monday? For the 3 departments that didn't submit anything, they'll get till Monday. I'm out of town, so they'll have till Monday. See, this is exactly the problem.
The brand of the name of the
We help each other out with this, make sure we're tending to schedule like that. We're all busy, guys. We're all busy. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But no one's going to take care of us like we can take care of ourselves.
We're trying to look at it as district-wide. Why are we requesting a different type of tool for the same job? We're trying to standardize also. I get it. I think you think you want Hearst, right? You're requesting Ion. There's different things, different departments.
My thing is, as long as it doesn't stand out, whether it be A brand or B brand,
And that's one of the things that we're looking at. If both of you requested, however, I am going to tell you, your department currently owns battery-operated Hurstos.
yeah, that were purchased by previous administrative errors that we should mention.
But those tools haven't been used in how many years?
all right, so anyway, let's go back to item number 27. Monday, if you guys are still inclined to submit, as per chief, you guys can do
There's
so.
3 departments.
And a note will be sent to all the chiefs?
I'm
about
sorry?
the extent. Will a note be sent to all the chiefs about the extension?
So do we only extend it to all of them or just the 3 departments that didn't submit anything? Yeah, because I already have assignments out to the ones that did submit, so the staff's already working on those assignments to try to figure out what is it going to cost so that we can see what our budget is going to look like and to see what our renovations district-wide are going to be like so that we can see what we can encompass that. Because remember, now we're looking district-wide as we're making renovations, we're building new stations, we're trying to better the way the system worked. So that's why we're looking at it. It's not that they're getting denied because we want to. They're getting denied because there's something's more important as a fire station going up somewhere than the want versus the need. So that's why we're looking at. But definitely, if you want to change your request, now's the time. I'm sorry? All right.
All right, guys. Hey, Roger, I appreciate you letting me put that in there. That's for information only.
Thank you, chief.
Item number 27 would be to reopen till Monday for the 3 departments and maybe some changes by the other departments. Monday, the 21st. Monday, the 21st at 5 p.m. That's all right. All they have to do is email it. Executive session, El Paso County ESD2 is now entering into closed meeting pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551071 to consult with district attorney concerning matters identified in the agenda where board members seek to advise the attorney, privileges communication on Tuesday, February 15th. The time is 7:35. There's food in the kitchen.
Guys, there's Whataburger in the kitchen if you all want some.
Ken, I'm about to call you.
I'm here.
You never got that email? I think I didn't catch it. Because I've also seen it with the meetings. Remember when they used to let us know, like, hey, submit your agenda. They don't do that anymore. They don't do that anymore. I'm like, yeah. Ever since they took the staff away from us, they get away with that. I remember my AA used to tell me, like, hey, meeting. Now it's like, you find out at the end by Roger, like, hey, what happened to this? Like, okay, you forgot that you got that out of your administrator.
Well, I'm out of here. I'm gonna go to training. And then let's just say, we're gonna follow, legal advice. Yeah, so what did you put in for?
So we wanted to remodel back station. But like we talked about trying to put in like the one in front. We're gonna wait that first. And then we also put forward electric pools, dolls, spreaders, saws.
So first, maybe too bad.
The increase?
They're expensive, but instead of having a part of the spreader, have a con.
Don't do it.
No, it's not. They modified the first one, so now they have the clips of the band that are reversed, bro.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, to
We
me,
had, these guys had a demo with like,
okay, that's an orange one.
the thing we went with that tool also, because it was a big thing that Roger brought up. If you buy a specific tool with a specific battery, that battery, we're gonna have to wait, call, and see if it matters. So this tool, dude, runs off wall. So we can go to Home Depot.
The 20 volt 9 hour.
We can go anywhere.
Or no,
and
60.
them.
60 volt.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm sorry.
You pick that up, have operated, yeah, that's the one, because Beth had bought them from her house. I was like, those guys, things have been fucking up.
Yeah, they have them on the rescue and they have
I'm
them on the.
I'm just gonna they're not, because they're here often. They're not like, you know,
They'll never fail.
yeah, they never fail. So they put a part of it, that's a lot. Kind of, you don't do that, Yeah, it's like, oh, well, it's a battery from, wheelchair. Fine, I'll do this. It's nice to the point that I'm gonna buy that for account from the government. The middle bills, like, I bought them on the dark money, don't pay it up. But
Yeah, we submitted that, risk controls and then. I'm not really sure, but.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Order call.
We're gonna get one of the filters just like resident control,
Dude, that dude,
but a
that,
two-seater.
Even the four-seaters.
Oh, really? It's like,
yeah.
probably like 4 feet. There's no way you'd be able to turn around on it.
Hey, so what happened to your lease?
So, and
I
that's
thought
what
they were gonna
I wanted to
reconsider.
talk to you, Chief, is, I know you guys been asking for one too, right? I think that is suitable for you guys. I know, this is the way I think, I don't know how you see it, you got Texas Rescue out there.
Yeah.
Pretty much you just need a vehicle to get your personnel to the scene. And I think that vehicle, maybe a little
A motion to proceed as deliberated by Commissioner Santana. I have a second by
Second.
Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, and Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 30, action with the contracts and Lady Fire Rescue. Commissioners can I have a motion to delete the item.
Motion
Motion.
delete. Second. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Butler. Is that who it was? She's like, I don't know. A motion by Commissioner Butler, second by Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes, Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item number 32, discussion to approve the next meeting to take place on March 15th. Everybody good with March 15th?
Yes.
Nobody takes spring break off. There you go,
Chief-
Mariana's
Chief,
off,
you had a
so.
comment?
Chief, I know we were late. I don't know if we caught it or not. The email I sent you about the fire school. Were you able to talk about that?
No, but we'll talk right now. Gotcha.
The what, I'm sorry?
I said we'll talk about it right now.
Okay.
No, that's something else. So what do we say on the 15th or?
No, we're good. Yeah, it's fine.
March 15th at 6 PM in public. You have a motion?
Motion.
Second.
I didn't hear a word of who said what. I heard part of it. Who was the motion? Oh, Commissioner Butler. And second was Commissioner Barnes. Commissioner Butler,
Aye.
Commissioner Santana,
Aye.
Commissioner Barnes,
Aye.
and Commissioner Avalos.
Aye.
Motion carries. Time is adjournment at 7:55.